My Street is a new party game from SCEA and Idle Minds. Idle Minds previously worked on the last 3 chapters in SCEA's Cool Borders games. So now they're doing this. It's a party game, and the big distinction between this party game and something like Fusion Frenzy or Mario Party is that it's online. Unfortunately, this is the only thing that it has going above any other party game. Other than that, it's just a mess. So there's 7 games in total. All told, 7 games, and they're maybe a little bit deeper than what you would usually get in a party game. But considering that a game like Fusion Frenzy or a game like Mario Party both have just several times the amount of games in it, this just does not stack up. There's just not enough variety and not enough to keep you coming back for any length of time. And another problem with the games is that a lot of them aren't that self-explanatory. My Street doesn't give you a lot of guidance. Right before the game starts, they'll flash the instructions up on the screen just for a couple of seconds, usually not enough time for you to figure out what's going on, what you need to do. So there ends up being a lot of trial and error. And considering the market that this game is sort of going for, which is a younger, preteen audience, they're just way too complex and not straightforward enough. So since the beginning, since My Street was first sort of showed off by SCEA at E3 2002, the focus has always been on the online capabilities, which sort of explains why the single-player stuff, the offline mode, specifically the story mode, isn't that strong. Basically, the premise is that you're the new kid on the block and you just moved into this new sort of weird, quirky suburban neighborhood, and you want to go around to all the other houses and meet the new kids and play games with them. And there's 7 kids in the neighborhood, each one sort of being the owner of one of the 7 games within My Street. But before you can actually just go up and play a game with them, they'll all have a task for you to perform first. And none of these tasks, absolutely none of these tasks, are any fun at all. They either go from just being sort of simple and quick to just being drawn out and tedious. Really the most offensive of all these, the longest and the most tedious, is the farm one. Basically, if you want to get the RC car, you have to go for a full week and perform these horrible chores at the farm to make $5 a day. And it's no fun, and it just breaks you down. It's not something you want to do, and it's not something that someone who would potentially play this game would want to do. What ultimately, the thing that makes the story mode in My Street so pointless is the fact that the game also includes an offline mode where you can play against other people or against the AI without any of the horrible, tedious story stuff. So it's there, but you don't have to play it, which just makes its presence that much more questionable. The online stuff works pretty much like the non-story mode offline game. Basically, you get online, find 3 other people to play with, and you can just choose games to play. It works pretty well. When we were playing it over high-speed broadband connection, we did experience a little bit of lag, which affected the game pretty badly. The overall look in My Street is sort of cartoony, not a lot of clean right angles, not a lot of straight lines in the environments. Textures look sort of so-so, but the kids look creepy. They look downright eerie because they always have this sort of blank, dead look on their faces, and their eyes will just sort of randomly drift from side to side. And when you're actually looking at the kids, sometimes it kind of looks like they're reading off of a teleprompter, which is a weird little experience. The single most offensive part of My Street is the voice acting. Well, actually, no, let me back that up. It's not the voice acting as much as it is what the voice actors are reading. It seems that on My Street, no one is able to actually make a sentence without just having it be riddled with all sorts of weird slang. And what's the strangest about it is that the slang that they choose to use, all of it's really outdated, so it seems like your dad saying "word up." But then they also just sort of pick it randomly from like the past 50 years of American youth culture. So just imagine in your head that a boardroom full of middle-aged businessmen are just frantically scribbling down all the slang words they can come up with, throwing them in a hat, and then randomly picking them out. That's sort of what the game sounds like. In fact, here, why don't you take a look?
You are one solid gone cat, Daddy-O. It takes a lot of skill to blow my doors off. Looks like you're the champ, man. I don't have a trophy and all that jazz, but I can give you the key to the Bully's Gate. Every time I try to use it, his scuzzy mutt chases me away. Maybe you can figure out how to make it work.
So yeah, you see what I mean? It's embarrassingly bad. I have no idea why they would include this. This is just one of those things that sort of boggles the mind as to why they would try so hard to give it this edgy, cute look and feel and sound when the people that it's really targeted at probably wouldn't have that much appreciation for it. Ultimately, it does sort of seem like My Street tries to appeal to everyone. Like with the whole sort of youth-oriented presentation that it has, it does definitely seem like it's going for the preteen market, but the games are far too esoteric, and the story mode is just way too tedious for anyone in that age bracket to really want to slog through. It seems like the kind of game that kids wouldn't want to play, but that kids' parents would buy for them. And then inversely, older gamers who might appreciate some of the old school flavor, as it were, that My Street has, are just totally going to be brought down by this bad use of slang and just all of this other tedious nonsense that's in the game. It tries to appeal to everyone, and it ends up appealing to no one. There's no reason anyone should be playing My Street. Stay away.